Yeah. The two getting transported.
Order meeting in order. Tuesday, August 8, 2017, 9 a.m., full county board meeting. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Alt.
Here.
Anderson.
Present.
Barron.
Here.
Bill.
Present.
Bowman.
Here.
Kogenauer. Crow. Present. Curtis.
Here.
Halfbargen.
Here.
Johnson. Crumley. Lemie. McGinnis.
Here.
McTaggart. Awful.
Here.
Persley.
Present.
Raymond.
Present.
Shure.
Here.
Bicknott.
Present.
Whitlow.
Under absent, 15 present. To be the prayer, Mrs. Awful.
Father, we come before you this morning. We'd like to lift up Jim Devine's father, John Devine, who just recently passed. Please be with Jim and his family during this hard time. And first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself. For the measure of health, we need to fulfill our calling for substance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibility. Thank you for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for the loving us so much from your boundless and gracious nature. In the scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our county board, chairman, and our elected county officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I am asking that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, and keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony, even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their tasks. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what will please you and what will benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved county of Iroquois. And it is in your most blessed name we pray. Amen.
Before we begin the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to observe a moment of silence in honor of John Devine, longtime county engineer, and father of our state's attorney. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The copy of the agenda in front of everybody. Is there a motion to approve that agenda? Bargain, is there a second? Mr. Bill, are there any questions or discussion about the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Everybody's had an opportunity to review the minutes for the July 11, 2017 session. Questions or comments about those minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes? Mr. Alt, second, Mrs. Awful. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Next, payroll. Is there a motion to approve the payroll? Mr. Anderson, is there a second? Call the roll, please.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hessbarger.
Yes.
Johnson. Lemay.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Apple.
Yes.
Persley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
That motion passes 15 to nothing, 0-16.
Yes.
Okay, public comments. Is there any public comments this morning? Mrs. Apple?
Morning. I see on our agenda that we're going to be discussing the ordinance. Okay, sorry. We're going to be speaking and talking about the solar ordinance, and I just had a few things that I'd like to share with everyone. I don't know much about the solar farms, but what I do know and I'm concerned about is that they take a lot of good, rich farm ground. In order to produce enough energy for most power grids, solar farms need to use thousands of panels. I'm not a farmer, and common sense tells me if we take our countryside farm ground and put in hundreds, if not thousands of panels, then where will we get our food source in the years to come? I was told that there is plenty of corn and beans right now, but that doesn't tell me what the future will hold, especially when these contracts are for 20 to 25 years, and we don't even know if solar will be around that long. Nobody really knows. Some of you know the science behind solar and are very good at sharing your wisdom. But for me, common sense tells me if the land is full of solar panels, there will be hardly any food. There are already starving people in our country, and believe it or not, we have them here in Iroquois County too. This ordinance that was presented by Chad McGinnis and Dan Raymond, as far as I know, has been put together correctly. But, however, since I don't know much about solar, I don't know what is right or wrong with the ordinance, and I don't feel I've been given enough time to understand it. I must ask, what is the rush and the hurry in passing this ordinance? I feel we need more wisdom and knowledge about solar as a county. Another thing is that I don't think it is right of the board to make decisions such as having solar farms for the future of Iroquois County residents. They will have no say-so about whether they want them or not. That's 20 years from now. Honestly, are we that arrogant to make decisions for people 20 years down the road? I will not be voting for this ordinance at today's meeting, as I do not understand what I am reading, nor know much about solar. Frankly, I don't think many in this room really do. Some are letting dollar signs decide for them. I am willing to hear the other side of this, but please, I've heard enough on the side of it. Thank you for letting me express my thoughts on this matter. And here is a picture that shows our countryside with panels. And is this really what we want?
You could run the whole United States on about 200,000 acres.
Well, you're very knowledgeable and all that, like I said, but I'm just going from how I feel about it. Thank you.
Any other public comments this morning? Crow.
Last Friday was our 911 director, Nida Dubal's last day, and she left with some fanfare by her beloved firemen and first responders. But today I would like to take a moment to thank her for her 38-plus years of service to the county. She's been a loyal and dedicated employee, and she deserves our thanks. So, Nida, you're not here today, but we send you off with our best wishes.
Any other public comments this morning? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to the outside organization report. Any outside organization reports this morning? We'll go to committee reports. of the county board, your committee to whom was referred policy and procedure would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 27, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present were John Scher, Dan Raymond, Kyle Anderson, Lyle Behrens, Russell Bills, and Marvin Sticknott. Troy Quillen was absent. Also present, Finance Director Anita Speckman, County Clerk Lisa Pancher, Treasurer Mindy Coots-Hagan, Sheriff Derek Hagan, ICPHD Administrator D. Shipper, EMA Director Eric Stacy, County Board Member Larry Hagbargen, and Wendy Davis with the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. The committee chairs gave their monthly reports. Highway Chairman Russell Bills reported the Highway Department will discuss and approve a resolution from Notes Grove. Management Chairman Lyle Behrens will receive monthly reports and discuss the upcoming county farm bid levy. The Judicial Committee will receive their monthly reports and continue discussions on ETSD. Planning and Zoning Chairman Dan Raymond reported the Planning and Zoning Committee met on July 12 and July 25th to develop and finalize the solar ordinance. The ordinance was approved by the committee on July 25 and will be presented to the county board in August. The regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning meeting for August has been canceled. Tax Chairman Marvin Sticknott will receive monthly reports and discuss the alleged problems with animal control. EMA Director Eric Stacy reported a busy month. Stacy and his assistant attended a hazmat awareness training which will contribute to applying for CC's Illinois Professional Emergency Manager's Certificate. Severe weather occurred on July 20, causing the damage to a shed owned by CPS in Sheldon. 2 homes in Martinton suffered roof damage due to severe weather as well. Stacy reported he submitted his fiscal year 18 budget to the Finance Committee. A pipeline tabletop exercise for the LEPC was held on July 25. Stacy has also started doing a monthly EMA radio drill. The next LEPC meeting will be held on August 22 at 1:30 p.m. Sticknott stated he was very impressed with the organization of the meeting for the tabletop exercise, and having the proper people in attendance was very important. The upgrade to the PA system was approved at the July County Board meeting. Stacy said he has not had the opportunity to work on a project, will begin to move forward with the upgrade. County Board Chairman John Scher discussed the recommendation to ETSB for the reappointment of an interim director following 911 Director Nida Dubal's resignation. Scher said the recommendation to ETSB for an interim director was suggested by State's Attorney Jim Devine. Scher noted he and Kyle Anderson have discussed the matter with Sheriff Derek Hagan, and he has agreed to assume the responsibility. Assistant 911 Director Sandy Drake could be assigned additional responsibilities. Parents asked how this change will affect the hours of the current staff. Dubal currently works many hours on the radio to cover for staff during vacations or when the department is short-staffed. Scher stated Hagan is not certified to work the radio, but the department is fully staffed as of now. However, there may be an increase in overtime hours. It was moved by Raymond and seconded by Anderson to recommend Sheriff Derek Hagan assume the role as interim director of dispatch. Motion carried by a voice vote. Hagan assured the committee he has agreed to take on this responsibility until appointments are made to the ETSB board and they can hire a director. His recommendation to them is to allow Drake to handle the day-to-day operations. She knows the equipment and is more than capable of taking on that role. Hagan stated the county has been fortunate to have people who knew how to dispatch and work the equipment. The ETSD board also needs to keep next generation 911 in mind during their hiring process. Speckman provided updated policies for vacation and travel expense reimbursement. Scher said both policies were discussed last month, but changes were requested. Speckman pointed out the change in the vacation policy clearly states employees' vacation leave accrual should not exceed 4 weeks at any time, and vacation time used cannot exceed 4 weeks in any given year. Any variances to the usage or actual or accrual must be approved by the department head. It was moved by Bills and seconded by Barron to approve the vacation policy. Motion carried by a voice vote. The travel and reimbursement policy incorporates the new law that went into effect January 1. The maximum reimbursable rate and an agreed-upon form have already been approved, but the policy was not updated. Specman said meals are only reimbursed with an overnight stay or over a 12-hour trip, unless approved by a supervisor. The remaining changes are per state statute, including no reimbursement for entertainment expenses. Also, the reimbursement form is now included as a part of the policy. It was moved by Raymond and seconded by Sticknott to approve the travel expense reimbursement policy. That motion carried by a voice vote. There was no update on the Illinois Bicentennial Initiative. There was no update on the arbitrator ruling on the telecommunicator contract. She reported no appointments to be made. Correspondence was distributed to the committee. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Raymond and seconded by Barron to pay the claims subject to county board approval. A roll call vote was taken. Motion carried. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Raymond and seconded by Barron to adjourn at 9:26 a.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted, is signed by all members present, and I move for its adoption. Seconded by Russell Bill. Are there any questions or comments on the report?
I have a question. In regards to the vacation, if somebody has an extreme illness or something like that, are they able to use their vacation time for that? Because it doesn't specifically say that in here, so.
I believe we can. I don't know why not.
Sure. Does it need to be stated in there, or is it okay to just assume that?
Vacation time can be used for any purpose that the individual desires.
Thank you.
Mr. Lemay.
Along those same lines, so then, what you pointed out, an extended illness, what if the illness goes beyond 4 weeks? Is that still capped at 4 weeks per year?
Vacation time is time that you're paid for. It could be 2 weeks, depending on how long you've been.
So what I'm saying is, they just got, if I read it correctly or heard it correctly, it was capped at 4 weeks per year, right? Is that accurate?
Right.
The most anybody can take is 4 per year.
No, that's the most you can accrue.
Yeah. Well, no, it's both.
It's both.
Yeah, you can accrue them or you can use them, but the limit is 4 weeks. So I was just going along what?
Unless approved by the supervisor, that wording's in there.
Okay,
You have a copy of that on your
Okay,
desk.
right. So I just want to make sure that that was not just dry that the instance that she's pointing out is that somebody has an extended illness, then the supervisor does have the option to go beyond that 4.
Well, there's different types of leave. They would also have their sick leave available that they have
Okay.
approved. They have 12 weeks FMLA leave by federal law, and they could use their vacation, so there are other alternatives.
All right, thank you.
You're not allowed to accrue more than 4 weeks at any time. You
Yeah.
can't go beyond that.
No, I understood that. It wasn't about the accruement, it was about the use of it.
Is there any other questions or comments about the report? Being none, the clerk will call the roll.
Barron,
Yes.
Bills,
Yep.
Bowman,
Yes.
Crowe, Curtis,
Yes.
Halfbargen,
Yes.
Johnson, Lee,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Apple,
Yes.
Hursley,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Sticknott,
Yes.
Alt,
Yes.
Aaron, I'm sorry, Anderson.
That motion passes 16-0. Finance Committee, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, the committee moves to refer to finance today, leave to submit the following report on matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on July 24, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present, Anderson, McTaggart, Alt, Bill, Curtis, Johnson, and Raymond. Also present, County Board Chairman John Schur, Finance Director Edward Speckman, Judge James Kinzer, Sheriff Derek Hagan, Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake, County Engineer Joel Moore, Probation Director Tom Latham, Superintendent of Veterans Assistance Jennifer Ingram, Veterans Assistance Board Member Craig Bruniga, King County Board Member Larry Hathaway. The meeting was called to order. Finance Director Anita Speckman distributed budget finders to the Finance Committee, which includes all budget revenue and expense worksheets for the department. Judge Jimmy Kinder presented his budget to the Finance Committee as follows. Salary increase of 2% for Chief Deputy was requested. Kinder plans to increase the jury schedule from 6 per year to 8 per year. Sheriff Derek Hagan reviewed the budget with his committee. Hagan distributed an updated spreadsheet pertaining to the general fund. Finance Director Anita Speckman explained the corrections officer is resigning in September and the previously employed corrections officer is being rehired. It results in a $10,000 increase in the correctional officer salary line item. Hagan said salaries are set by FOP contract. The 2% increase for the administrative assistant and maintenance supervisor was requested. The janitor's salary is set by AFSCME contract. Speckman made Hagan aware that his budget totals include 100% of maintenance supervisor's salary, and it should evenly split with administrative center. Speckman will make that change. Training has increased from 4,000 to 25,000 due to upcoming retirement. Hagan said he received notice from one deputy about retiring in November, and another deputy has not given official notice but anticipates retiring in February of 2018. The cost of the 14-week training academy is $5,000 per person. Hagan noted the cost could decrease if a lateral transfer is made from another agency. Also, there is a possibility of using public safety tax dollars towards this expense. The uniform and weapon allowance line item also increased significantly due to new hires. Public safety tax could also offset this expense. So the contract have increased from $14,000 to $20,000. Hagan said maintenance supervisor Chris Drake will address the matter during his budget presentation. Hagan also requested an increase for 5 prisoners. Hagan explained the less inmates in the jail, the cost per meal increases, and the cost per meal decreases when there are more inmates in the jail. Leads have increased from 5,500 to 8,100. Hagan said he received a notice from the state that the cost of leads is increasing from $490.40 per month to $925 per month. The cost will continue to be split with the city of West City. Hagan informed the committee he will be interviewing for the court security position due to retirement in September. If an individual is hired with no previous experience, they must be sent to a court security training school. If an individual is hired who is already certified, the training is waived. Capital improvements include 3 new squad cars and 16 portable radios. The cost of the squad cars includes replacing radios, equipment, light bars, and marking on the cars. The portable radios are priced at $1,000 each. The 3 new cars will replace a 2014 squad car and 2 2015 squad cars. The Sheriff's Public Safety Fund budget remains the same at $11,000 for revenue and expense. In 2006, the county passed an ordinance to collect the booking fees from outside agencies to bring in their arrestees. The fee has remained at $26 since the ordinance was established. Hagan said telephone bills and equipment are typically paid out of this fund. Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake reviewed his budget with the committee. Drake requested the maintenance repairs amount for the jail remain at $32,500. He would like the opportunity to work with the budget himself for a year. Drake stated when he was hired, $20,000 of that budget was already exhausted. Household supplies has increased because of the fluctuation in the population of inmates in the jail. Service contracts also increased for courthouse and the jail. Capital improvements were discussed. The management committee recommends $450,000 to fund resealing the courthouse jail parking lot, courthouse fire alarm, and jail cell blocking mechanism. After further discussion, Hagan and Drake recommended budgeting $25,000 for heat pumps and $25,000 to reseal the administrative center parking lot. Neither of them recommend the project suggested by the management committee. The administrative center parking lot was resealed and striped in 2014. It should continue to be done on the schedule so it prevents ending up in a situation like the courthouse parking lot. The lack of a fire alarm system is not causing us to receive any violations and is a project that can be done in the future. We are somewhat grandfathered into the cell-block mechanisms and the slightest changes can cause many more costly changes down the road. The locks are operational. Speckman said the committee needs to address these changes and whether or not to keep what management has recommended or make the changes for Hagan and Drake's recommendations. Speckman reviewed the salary lines, which includes a 2% increase for Drake. Drake's salary is split 50% with the Sheriff's Department. Speckman also reviewed the telephone, electricity, water, and gas expenses. It was discussed that the water expense will increase another 50%, and Speckman should change the budget amount to reflect this expected increase. Speckman in the committee reviewed public defender Dale Stroud's budget. In his absence, Speckman noted that Stroud has requested a 9% salary increase for himself and a 4.5% increase for his assistant public defender. Speckman said she spoke with Judge Kinzer and he stated Stroud is paid fairly for the work he has done. Speckman also said that state reimburses for a certain percentage of Stroud's salary, which amounts to $32,000. Historically, Stroud has been given a 2% salary increase each year. Beckman discussed the budget for the county farm. She said the issue with the farm is that we have a 1-year rental agreement, and last year we had a 3-year agreement. This fund helps with balancing the general fund, and it helps with capital improvements. If the rent for the new lease amounts to $125,000, we would end up with a cash balance of $273,000 at the end of next year. The cash would be available, transferred to either the general fund or the capital improvement fund. The farm expense includes fertilizer, property taxes, and miscellaneous items. Fertilizer is paid for by the county and is reimbursed by the tenant. Property taxes show a trend of increasing by 11% each year. County Engineer Joe Moore presented his budget as follows. A new revenue and expense line was created for asphalt emulsion. This is to accommodate the emulsion tank that was installed in the highway department. 2.5% increase was requested for the assistant department head. There's a large increase in labor and salaries because Moore is expecting a retirement in May of 2018 and would like to hire a replacement in advance to allow for an ample amount of training. $70,000 GIS expense is budgeted for the culvert inventory on the county. Purchase of equipment has increased to accommodate the purchase of 2 new tandems. More explained, the motor fuel tax revenue has decreased because last year we received a settlement from the wind farms and 2.25 miles of state flat from Ashland. The amount budgeted for FY18 is $750,000. Department head salary includes a 1% increase. This increase has been averaging between 0 and 3%. A re-ranking is also done based on population and the number of miles of roads. Motor fuel tax salary reimbursement includes a 2.5% salary increase. Contract supplies has increased due to upcoming work in Ashland and Mills Road. More from the county bridge this year due to several road commissioners having large structures that are in bad shape. Beckman presented her budget as follows. Salary increase to 2% requested for Beckman and administrative assistant. Deputy clerk salary is set for asking contract. Systems expenses has increased from $1,500 to $15,000 to replace 2 computers in the finance department and 7 computers in the assessment office. A new line item has been added for contingent to accommodate the IT committee's $15,000 request for unspecified cybersecurity projects. Probation Director Tom Latham reviewed his budget with the committee. A 2% increase is requested for the probation supervisor. The probation officers will receive increases based upon the FOP contract. Overall, the FY18 budget is approximately $12,000 higher than the FY17 budget. Beckman discussed veteran assistance due to their request for a large increase. Beckman explained they have a separate levy amount with a max levy of 0.03%. Last year's levy was at 0.006%. Superintendent of Veterans Assistance, Jennifer Ingram, addressed the request for an increase. Ingram explained she currently works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 until noon. She would like to change her hours from Monday through Friday from 8 until noon. She currently has 50 active claims. Ingram said her board has approved the increase. Beckman said the only thing the county can do is not levy the amount requested, but she will confirm this with State Attorney Jim Devine. Beckman continued with the general fund budget. Group insurance pays the county portion of all employees' health insurance. Half-rate sick pay amount remains the same. This policy allows all employees to cash in their sick pay over 30 days at half their rate of pay. The county contributes $25,000 to the Industrial Development Association. Beckman told the committee as of now the budget shortfall of negative $387,000. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Dan Raymond and seconded by Ernie Curtis to adjourn at 11:48 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. Mr. Chairman, members of the County Board of Committee who has referred finance and they leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Yes.
Which one you gonna go to?
The 25th, or the 24th, July 24th, July 25th, and August 3rd.
The first one here was
Well,
Yeah, I know it
going
now.
the earlier one.
But after the 20 just read is the one for the 25th. Yeah, right, now we know that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be over for 15 minutes, we'll figure it out. Mr. Chairman, members of the County Board of Committee who has referred finance, they need to submit the following reports on matters before them. The Committee met at the Administrative Center on July 25th, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present, Anderson, Bills, Curtis, Johnson, McTaggart, Alt, and Mayor Raymond were absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Director Anita Speckman, Treasurer Mindy Kuntagen, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Greenwood, County Clerk Lisa Bancher, Human Director Eric Stacy, Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef, Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines, Regional Superintendent Greg Murphy, Coroner Bill Cheatham, and County Board Members Donna Crowe and Larry Haffbarger. The meeting was called to order. Treasurer Mindy Kuntagen presented her budget to the Finance Committee as follows. Salary increase of 1.3% for the Chief Deputy was requested. Automation budget includes replacement of 2 computers. Revolving loan fund revenue remains the same, assuming payments will continue to be received. Finance Director Anita Speckman discussed the unemployment compensation. Our rate has gone down based upon 3 years of benefit charges. Workers' comp has increased 25%. Speckman said a lot of claims were filed last year, but only 1 claim has been filed this year. The levy for IMRF will decrease $600,000. We've been levying $600,000 for unpaid pension liability. Supervisor of Assessment Bob Drigler presented his budget to the committee. Salary increases include a 5% increase for the Chief Deputy and a 2.13% increase for your work. County Clerk Lisa Pancher presented her budget to the committee. $1,500 salary increase was requested for both Chief Deputies. Election judge salaries are based upon 2 upcoming elections. The county receives $45 per election judge from the state. Pancher said the transfer from automation to the general fund is negotiable. FEMA Director Eric Casey presented his budget to the committee. Casey requested a 2% salary increase. Office expense has increased significantly, with $2,000 being allotted for technology. Education and dues includes training for safety and the volunteer assistant. Animal Control Director Dr. Youssef presented his budget to the committee. No increase in salary was requested for Youssef or the animal board. Office supply vaccination tags have been increased to $800. Circuit Clerk Lisa Hines presented her budget with the committee. A 2% increase was requested for the Deputy Clerk. Regional Superintendent Greg Murphy reviewed his budget request, stating his request is the same as the FY17 budget. The Regional Office of Education split 76-24 between Kankakee and Iroquois County. Office resides in the Administrative Center, which holds a truancy caseworker. The caseworker is a full-time employee with a caseload of 70 clients. Coroner Bill Cheatham presented his budget as follows. Education and dues expense and mileage will be paid from the coroner's automation fund going forward. A 10% increase for the assistant coroners was requested. Speckman discussed revenues with the committee. Speckman said there is an overall decrease in revenue, but not all transfers from other funds are included yet. Speckman reviewed State Attorney General Vine's budget. A 2% increase was requested for both assistant state attorneys. Speckman invited the committee to decide on uniformity concerning the salary increases. The committee will continue to review the budget request, and more discussion will be held during the Finance Committee meeting on August 3rd. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Ernie Curtis and seconded by Russell Bills to adjourn at 11:47 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. Go on to the last one. Mr. Chairman, members of the County Board of Committee, whom has referred finance today, leave to submit the following reports on matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on August 3rd, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present: Anderson, McTaggart, Alt, Bills, Curtis, and Johnson. Dan Raymond was absent. Also present: County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Director Anita Speckman, Treasurer Mindy Kuntagen, County Clerk Lisa Pancher, State Attorney General Vine, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Drigler, Sheriff Derek Hagan, FEMA Director Eric Casey, ICPHC Administrator Steve Shipper, IDA Director Ken Merrigree, Susie Warner of Homestar Insurance Services, Randy Schultz of Schultz Insurance, County Board Member Larry Haffbarger, and Lindy Davis with Time Republic. Meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. Randy Schultz of Schultz Insurance said he received the insurance bid specifications and sees no problem with what has been presented. Finance Director Anita Speckman reminded the committee that publication for the insurance bid package will run in the newspaper for 6 days and is posted on the county's website. Susie Warner of Homestar Insurance provided an update on the optional group insurance plan. All local providers can be seen with no referral needed. Any out-of-the-network providers require a referral. Warner reviewed the current Health Alliance plan and the optional Health Alliance POS plan with the committee, which includes changes in co-payments. Warner said the POS network is larger than the current plan we are enrolled in. Speckman said her concern relates to the wording in the ASPE contract. The language states the county has the option of changing health insurance carriers, but must find a replacement plan as close to the current plan as possible. Speckman asked who determines if the replacement plan is similar to the current plan or not. In the past, the employees have been told that a decision was made from their votes. Sherry Johnson asked Warner if she could talk with Health Alliance about adjusting the co-payments on the POS plan. Warner will look into it and report back to the committee. Speckman said she has already budgeted a 9.08% increase for insurance. Johnson also suggested Warner speak to the employees about the differences in the plan. Speckman and Warner will determine a date for this meeting. Speckman reported a current shortfall of negative $375,390 for the FY18 budget. Speckman stated she has not received any feedback from the committee regarding proposed budget cuts. said she had suggestions for spectrum and was emailed them to her. The committee discussed holding a special meeting to discuss the FY18 budget further. The meeting will be held August 21st at 9 a.m. The revolving loan fund resolution was discussed. The resolution was approved last month during the finance committee, but sent back to the committee for separate consideration for action taken by the county board. Johnson presented her proposed amendments to the revolving loan strategy. She also voiced concern over the fact that now the county committing to the fund is $515,000. Johnson said in her opinion the amount going to fund should be $250,000 due to the situation of our budget. The resolution states we must adopt another resolution if we wish to change the dollar amount. Johnson said it would be much simpler to reduce the amount now and also further clarify whether or not the money received from the loan fund will be transferred into the fund. McTaggart asked if there was a capital improvement plan in place. He said, not having this information makes it difficult to make a decision regarding this fund. Second answer, the county lacks a strategic plan when it comes to any forecasting for capital improvement. It was moved by Russell Bill to adopt a revolving loan fund resolution, including the amendments to the loan strategy and include any debt associated with revolving loan funds. The motion died due to a lack of a second. The department heads gave their monthly report. They are as follows. ICPHC Administrator D. Shepard presented her budget to the committee, which was approved unanimously by the Board of Health on August 2nd. Anderson explained to the committee that the board has limited options in reference to the health department's budget. The amount levied to them can be reduced. HEMA Director Eric Facey informed the committee he submitted the EOC technology grant and will keep the committee updated. Sheriff Derek Hagan reported 2 upcoming retirements. A deputy is retiring in November and a court security officer is retiring in September. Hagan has interviewed a retired law enforcement officer for the position. Hagan also has a correctional officer resigning in September, but he is hiring a former correctional officer who is already certified for the position. Hagan believes he will have more retirements in 2018. The committee review claims is moved by Alton, seconded by Curtis, to take the claims subject to county board approval. Roll call vote was taken, motion carried. Under new business, McTaggart asked that a capital improvement plan be put together prior to the August 41st meeting. This would include budget changes. The committee feels necessary. As there was no further business coming before the committee, it was moved by Michael McTaggart and seconded by Johnson to adjourn at 9:49 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. All 3 are respectfully submitted and signed by all members present, and I move for their adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve free finance committee report. Is there a second? Mr. Bill. Discussion or comments about these reports?
On the August 3rd, Anita, didn't you mention in there that you had sent an email on the August 3rd one to the health department to ask them to pay rent? Wasn't that August 3rd, the Thursday?
I didn't mention that.
You didn't mention it?
But, yeah, I had sent an email asking for not rent, but reimbursement of, just occupancy costs, but that's not included in their budget.
As long as you didn't mention it, that's all. I thought you did
No,
for some reason. I must have read it somewhere. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Sheriff?
For clarification, the 3 squad cars, I've got 4 2013 Impala still on the road, so if that request is approved, that would be replacing 3 of the 4 2013s.
Any other questions or comments? None, the clerk call the roll, please.
Bill.
Yeah.
Bowman.
Yes.
Crow.
No.
Curtis.
Yes.
Catsbargen.
Yes.
Johnson.
No.
Lamee.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Hersley.
Yes.
Raymond. Shore.
Yes.
Signot.
Yes.
Alt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
That motion is approved 14-2. Management Services, Mr. Barron.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your information to whom has referred management services for bed leaves and make following report on matters before them. This committee met at the Administrative Center on July 31 at 9 a.m. Members President Barron, all Cathcart, Johnson, again, also Kevin Bowman was absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Shure, Maintenance Supervisor Chris Craig, Finance Director Anita Fleckman, and Mikey Davis with the County Republic. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. Chairman Barron handed out a letter from National Land Realty to the committee. The letter to the county board states they are working with a solar development company who has identified our property as a property of interest for a long-term ground lease or purchase with payment of up to $1,000 per acre per year for 20 years. This property is part of the county farm. Barron's asked the committee for their input for a response to be drafted. After reading through the letter, Terry Johnson, Larry Hathaway, and Chad McGinn asked that the company be contacted for more information. The Charlie All proposed stating the county shouldn't be willing to commit for such a long term. Barron's asked Finance Director Nita Speckman for the per acre trend for the county farm rent over the past several years. Speckman said rent for 2013 to 2016 was $390 per acre. 2017 was $312 per acre, and the current rent is $315 per acre. Johnson knows the committee shouldn't focus too much on the 20-year term at this time until more information is received from the company. The committee discussed how long the process would take for developing a solar farm. Again, said he doesn't think it would take very long, and that the state's attorney and that the state has money allocated for such projects. County Board Chairman John Scher spoke to the committee about the letter and the 111 acres National Land Realty is referring to. Not all of the acreage is county farm, some is part of the Highway Department. Johnson asked if National Land Realty could be contacted and asked to attend the next management committee meeting. And rather than bid out county farm for 3 years, we could bid it out for 1 year. Barron's answered the publication and bid packets have already gone out for a 3-year term to be opened on August 15th. It was moved by McGinnis and seconded by Johnson to contact Stephanie Spear, project manager at National Land Realty, to provide a scope of the project. Roll call vote is taken. Motion carried. Sure will contact Ms. Spears for the information prior to the county board meeting. Barron's will contact State Attorney Jim Biden about the legality of making changes to the already published county farm bids from a 3-year to a 1-year term. Several committee members questioned the timeliness of receiving the letter from National Land Realty. Barron's explained the letter was initially opened and discussed during policy and procedure and then forwarded to the management committee. Lastly, Barron's noted the last time soil testing was done on the farm was 2015. DCS provided the soil test using GPS. It was moved by Hathaway and seconded by Awful to send out bid for GPS soil testing for the county farm. Roll call vote is taken, motion carried. Maintenance Supervisor Chris Drake reported on the following. The month of July has been a quiet month which required no outside contractors to be hired. All routine maintenance is able to be handled in-house, including issues with heat pumps and no hot water at the jail. Drake said there was a lot of cleanup outside around the building after the storm. Due to the increasing jail population, supplies are also increasing. The sealed entry system is complete. Barron's asked Drake to get bids for tree removal for a couple of dead trees around the courthouse. Drake will also work on the area between the parking lot and Stockville due to poison ivy and other weeds coming up. Caspar pointed out the maintenance numbers being over budget already. Speckman said she already met with Drake about the issue. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Caspar and seconded by Awful to pay the claims subject to county board approval. Motion carried by roll call vote. Under new business, September management meeting called on Labor Day holiday. It was moved by Awful, seconded by Caspar to change the September 4th management services committee meeting date to September 6th at 1 p.m. Motion carried by voice vote. Barron's reviewed upcoming contract expiration dates and noted those following contract expired July 15, 2018. It was moved by Paul, seconded by Awful to adjourn the meeting at 9:42 a.m. Motion carried by voice vote. And all of this is properly submitted and I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the management report. Is there a second? That is part of the second. Are there any questions or comments about the report? Mr. Bowman.
Says lease or purchase. Did they give you a purchase price?
No.
And you can't tell the farm.
Well, I was just curious if they had a number that they were looking at, that you could backfeed it, but
No.
okay.
Any other
bid letting is on the 15th of August, is that correct?
That's
At 9 a.m.
anything else? Seeing nothing, clerk will call the roll.
Coleman.
Yes.
Crowe.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hathbarden.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Fernsley.
Yes.
Raymond. Schuer.
Yes.
Picknott. Hall.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Passes 16-0. Next is the tax committee, Mr. Picknott.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee to whom was referred tax would beg leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. The committee met at the Administrative Center on August 1st, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present were Sticknott, Kokenauer, Awful, Pursley, and Whitlow. Crumwitty and McTaggart were absent. Also present, County Board Chairman John Scher, Finance Director Anita Speckman, County Clerk Lisa Fancher, Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerler, Treasurer Mindy Coons-Hagen, ICPHD Administrator Dee Shippert, ICPHD Staff Nurses Teresa Gastoni and Melissa Nealon, Animal Control Administrator Dr. Yusuf, County Board Member Larry Hathbarden, and Lindy Davis of the Times Republic. The meeting was called to order. The committee reviewed the claims. It was moved by Dan Pursley and seconded by Jed Whitlow to pay the claims subject to county board approval. Motion carried by roll call vote. There were no public comments. The department heads gave their monthly reports. Treasurer Mindy Coons-Hagen reported taxes are still being collected and the next installment is due August 21st. County Clerk Lisa Fancher told the committee she received an email from Mike Ballinger and he has an auction scheduled to sell the parcels that have been acquired through the delinquent tax process. The auction will be held September 13th at 5 p.m. in the county boardroom. Mr. Ballinger provides the advertising for the auction as well as the auctioneer and catalogs with the parcel listings. Fancher said there are about 60 parcels to be sold. Supervisor of Assessments Bob Yerler and his office has closed out the assessor level and rolled to supervisor assessment level. Yerler said he will be in and out of the office over the next several weeks doing field work. Once that is complete, the next step is to abstract and equalize. Tax Chairman Sticknott asked Yerler to explain the $4,400 claim to Bruce Harris for GIS. Yerler said the charge is general mapping maintenance and this charge is separate from the $11,000 monthly charge to Bruce Harris, which will end March 2018. Sticknott also stated when the GIS system was being set up, Yerler mentioned the revenues received would cover these costs and asked if Yerler could see that happening. Yerler said yes, over time the revenues will cover the cost of the GIS fund. Yerler reminded Sticknott that that is known was known in the beginning that there would be a shortfall in the GIS fund because the cost of development will override the recording fees coming in. There was also a budget adjustment last year to move a deputy clerk's salary from the GIS fund rather than the assessment budget. As soon as the final payment of $11,000 ends in March, the shortfall will start building over the next several years and allow us to develop more layers for the GIS system. Finance Director Anita Speckman informed the committee they will begin working on the tax levy beginning in September or October. She has already started on the zero levy funds. They are available in their office if anyone would like to review them. Animal Control Director Dr. Yusuf gave his report for July, which included 14 dogs picked up and brought to the clinic, 3 dog bites, 1 cat bite, 1 squirrel bite. The squirrel bite tested negative for rabies. Another spay and neuter clinic will be held outside this facility on August 7th. The Animal Control Office is currently collecting applications. Sticknott informed the committee he and County Board Chairman John Scher
met with the mayor and the chief of police of the city of Watsika regarding the animal control contract between the county and the city. The county currently charges the city a fee when a dog is picked up, but the city feels that there may be duplication in fees. Chief of Police Douglas suggested charging a set fee per year to the city of Watsika for a dog pickup. To accommodate this method, ICNOT thought it would be best to take the average rate over the last 3 years and charge them that amount. Speckman said over the last few years, the city hasn't called for us to pick up, so there isn't any history to come up with a fair fee. Yusuf also mentioned the fact that other cities and villages are already under contract with a per dog rate, and complaints may arise if we make this change with the city of Watsika. Speckman stressed that these agreements need to be very clear with the charges that are assessed. Sticknot and Sure will meet with Douglas again to discuss the matter further. Sticknot said he was also asked if the county would begin picking up cats. The committee agreed that this is not a task they would like to begin. Lastly, when a call comes into the police department or 911, both departments said they used to have access to the animal records, which would tell them the owner's name. Since the software has changed, they no longer have this access. Speckman said this can be remedied by adding users. She said they didn't have access to the previous software. They received a file once a week with updated information. The committee asked Speckman to look into adding users for the police department and 911. Under new business, Kokenar asked if anything became of allegations against Dr. Yusuf. Sticknot replied that while there may have been some individuals that did not agree with how the matter was handled, it could not find any illegal wrongdoing. As there was no further business to come before the committee, it was moved by Awful and seconded by Person to adjourn the meeting at 9:47. Motion carried by a voice vote, all of which is respectfully submitted. Signed by those present, and I move for its adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the tax committee report. Is there a second? The first and second. Are there any questions or comments? Mr. McGinnis?
How much do we pay Dr. Houston? What's his contract?
Do you remember, Anita, is it $1,500 a month?
Well, there are two pieces. He receives a salary of $1,000 a month, and then in addition, we do rent his facility. We pay a rental cost for that facility of $1,500.
So $2,500?
Right. And then animal care costs on top of that, you know, like a per dog basis, like if a dog is in there for a certain number of days or whatever, then we get charged for that as well.
Then the animal control.
Salary is $1,000.
Yeah, 1,000, and then we rent.
Rent is entirely different.
Yeah, but the rent doesn't provide anything but because we still pay room and board. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So we are renting. It sounds like we're more buying access to be able to put our dog there for room and board. It seems like we're not getting anything for that $1,500 because we still have to pay room and board. It'd be like you rent an apartment and they tell you, yeah, you can have the key, but if you want to live in it, you have to pay room and board every day.
In most cases, the owner of the animal pays the room and board.
But
Yeah,
if
that's
they
true.
don't, because it's an unclaimed dog, we're still paying room and board. And okay, it just seems bad. That seems excessive, especially if we're talking a $375,000 budget deficit.
The licensing fees for the dogs, though, do cover our expenses for animal control.
Yeah, I understand we're limited to what we have available, $2,500. And then, did anything come up about him giving expired vaccines to dogs that we turned in? Because I have a copy that was given to me that clearly shows he's giving expired vaccine.
I have not received any documentation about it.
Okay, I'll get it to you because that's wrong. I mean, I have it.
Okay.
And if he's doing that, we need to rethink who we have as a...
Well, I'll certainly discuss.
Yeah, I'll discuss it, yeah, for later. Okay. So, thank you.
To clarify, thank you. To clarify, the $2,500 total monthly fee, salary and rent, is covered by the fees collected by animal control for licensing and whatever else. That total cost is covered.
I think you're the expert on that. You keep the records, right? It is better.
Yes, I kind of keep the record. I like to think I keep the record. I'm in trouble if I don't. But right, I did a report for the tax committee last month that showed like a 5-year trend of the revenues from the license fees that come in versus the expenses, the care for the dog, all the tags, everything related to the dog, the clerk that does the licensing, and every year the license fees have covered the cost of the dog.
Yeah, we did receive that report, and that's how I read it, but I don't know if you two specify
My 2 cents for the negotiating with the city flat fee, I would look very hard at that issue because with the amount of dogs they have running at large, if we say we'll do it, every time a call comes in, they're not going to give it to their city police, they're going to call the county. And if you look at the last 3 to 5 years to get an idea of what we've charged them to pick dogs up, it's going to be very low because they try to do everything they can before they call us. So if you get into that type of agreement with them, be prepared for that animal control warden to be getting called out multiple times weekly, probably even multiple times daily.
I think that's kind of the way that we're looking at it, and probably not very likely that we would go along the lines of what we suggest. Any other questions or comments on the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Pearl. Yes. Curtis.
Yes.
Asbargen.
No.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lamine.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Persley.
Yeah.
Raymond.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Signon.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Anderson. Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
54.
Motion is approved 15-1. Health Committee report, Mrs. Allen.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, the committee who was referred health was begged leave to submit the following report on the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center August 1st, 2017 at 9:51 a.m. Members present were Kevin Kopenauer, Barbara Awful, Dan Persley, and Jay Whittle. Troy Quimley and Michael McTaggart were absent. Also present County Board Chairman John Sherrod, ICPHD Administrator D. Shepard, ICPHD Staff Nurses Street Custody, and Melissa McLuhan. County Board members Larry Hanford and Margaret Stickman, and Wendy Ames were attending the public. The meeting was called to order. There were no public comments. ICPHD Administrator D. Shepard reported the state currently owes the Health Department $32,741.37. Shepard reviewed the grant and contract spreadsheet with the committee. The grant contracts that had not been received from the state yet are body art control, child and adult care food programs, summer food programs, tanning program, local health protection, and the red grant. The training for the Liquor Control Commission contracted by the Illinois Department of Revenue is on August 10th. The committee reviewed the summary report for July. The number of temporary permits issued increased due to the surrounding fairs and festivals. There were 4 food complaints that required investigation. ICPHD continues to monitor West Nile by gathering mosquito samples. Shepard said surrounding counties have had positive cases of West Nile. Child immunizations continued to increase. In July 2016, the number of child immunizations was 54. In July 2017, the number of child immunizations was 133. Shipper said the health department will begin to implement soon. Shipper presented an ordinance governing water wells and water supplies at the Iroquois County. In light of the possibility of having groundwater wells that are in a restricted area, the health department thought there needed to be additional verbiage added to the ordinance. Shipper read the change as follows. In those locations where an ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a potable water supply by the installation or use of potable water supply wells or by any other method has been adopted by a municipal body or the county approved by the EPA, no closed loop wells may be installed or permitted. Non-potable water wells in this location may be permitted and installed as minimally the upper 20 feet of well casing of steel well water with casing and a non-potable water well is pressure grouted using neat cement grout only. She informed the committee the ordinance was presented to the Board of Health and approved on July 5th with their recommendations presented to the Health Committee for approval. It is moved by Barbara Allen, seconded by Dan Persley, to approve the ordinance governing water wells and water supplies in Iroquois County in Illinois. Motion carried by a vote. Shipper introduced the Health Department staff nurses, Teresa Gittoni and Melissa Gittoni began speaking about the school nursing program. As school nurses, they treat all illnesses and injuries and emergencies that occur at the schools. Unit is approximately 1,000 students divided between 4 different buildings. Gittoni also keeps the Health Department in compliance with state regulations as far as keeping track of exams and immunizations that are required. Plans are also in place for those who have medical conditions. Gittoni says she serves on the concussion management team. Gittoni also assists with wellness and motion with this plan. During the summer months when school is not in session, Gittoni fills in as needed in the office at the Health Department offers community education such as babysitting classes and role intervention. McEwen is the school nurse in Milford, which is approximately 600 kids. Shipper asked the committee to let her know what program they would like to hear about at the next health meeting. And if there was no further business to come before the committee, it is moved by Jay Whitlow and seconded by Dan Persley to adjourn at 10:33 a.m. and move for adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve the health committee report, is there a second? We're all set. Somebody our attention at the motion approving the water ordinance without handling exactly correctly, and we need to have a motion to separate this out and send it back to the committee. Basically, what we're talking about here is that it needs to be a new ordinance rather than approved by the state's attorney. So in that regard, I would entertain a motion to separate consideration.
I'll move to separate out for separate consideration that section of the report that deals with the groundwater ordinance.
Bottom paragraph on the first page of the report. Is there a second?
Second.
Can we make a motion to send it back to the committee?
Oh, send it back to the committee. Yes. Thank you.
I'm going to vote on separating out. Roll please.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hathbarger.
Yes.
Johnson. Louise.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Awful. Yes. Persley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Stickhoff.
Yes.
Ault.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Okay, that motion is approved 16-0, so now we're going to deal with that part of the ordinance. That part of what's being separated out. Any questions or comments?
So all we have to do is approve the remainder of the report. You already made an action on it.
So we approved taking it out.
Taking it out, sending it back to the committee.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the remainder of the report?
Well, I have a question about what's being sent back to the committee for informational purposes. We didn't have a discussion there, but is this in addition to what we did last month, what the board approved last month as far as the Howard's property? or is this just our overall?
It's related to that, but it's not the regular stuff. Not into it. It's something that, different you can express.
It's not just that, because there are municipalities that also pass those ordinances, like we passed with that. So this ordinance change, this amendment, requiring the upper 20 feet of the well to be water well, steel casing rather than PVC piping, and the neat cement grout rather than just regular grout will help protect the aquifer. So we thought it would be in the best interest of the county to do whatever we can to protect the aquifer in the event that, so it's just an additional, it's an addition to the ordinance. But we found out that we couldn't just amend the ordinance, we have to have an ordinance amending the ordinance. So.
It's kind of as a result of the bad situation that came about, the power company. So, Terry doing research on that, this kind of came from that, the change that
It's my understanding that no drinking water wells can be drilled in those areas, but a well like for a heat pump can be drilled, is that correct?
And non-potable water.
Yes, any non-potable.
Right.
And in order to protect the aquifer, those wells have to be handled in a special way so no contaminants can get into the aquifer, is that correct?
That's the purpose of it.
Okay.
Is there any other questions or comments on the report? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Hannah Fargan.
Yes.
Johnson. Lee.
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Apple. Hurley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Stewart. Chittick.
Yes.
All.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron. Bill.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Crowe. Curtis.
We have a motion to adjourn 16 years, additional publication of the meeting with the Baron.
Mr. Chairman, members of the county board, it is made to refer additional public safety to say, please, the following report on matters before them. The committee met at the courthouse on March 2017, 3 p.m. Members President Warren, Ian, Crowe, Curtis, Lee, and Whittle are all with that. Also present, Sheriff Eric Hagan, Judge James Kinder, Judge Dorothy Behind, and Board Chairman John Scherr, and Board Member Larry Haffard, and Warren Davis, with time to public. The meeting was called to order. This committee reviewed the agenda. It was moved by Attorney Burns, second by Don Crowe, to approve the additional public safety agenda. Motion carried by a voice vote. There was no public comment. Sheriff Eric Hagan from the report for July included Cole had 583 calls to service for the month of July. Year-to-date calls for service 3,558. 2016 was year-to-date 3,732. Booked in 76 prisoners for the month of July. Year-to-date booked in 438. Average daily population July 32. Year-to-date average population 30. Year-to-date average length of stay 19 days. Total time in jail for July was 257 hours on schedule. Part-time hours for July was 0 hours. One deputy off on workman comp. Correctional officer resigning on September 15th and moving on to date. Hiring of a previous correctional officer that left due to good standing in December of 2015. Court security officer will be retiring in September. The retired law enforcement officer was interviewed for the position. Taking that to committee members to reassure our constituents that the 911 center will operate as usual, even though the county is losing now one director, Matt Doolittle, taking that Doolittle under expertise will unit. The 911 center has very good core of dispatchers that have the experience to keep everything working properly. Taking that this 911 director, Sandy Drake, has 10 years of experience in working the equipment and can address any issue before contacting outside members. Chad Gibbons told Hagan WDE to resolve the situation with removing exempt cars. All parties are also satisfied and sheriff's department will proceed in whatever thanks. Judge James Kinder reminded the committee that there is a deficit for year last year. This has created quite a backlog of planning on increasing back to 830 per year. The committee reviewed reports for probation, court services, and PTSD. Circuit clerk, these items distributed one of the reports to the committee for their review. Total of $4,190.24 was received from credit collection departments. The committee held a discussion on ETSD. Again, distributed a working draft of the ETSD ordinance for the committee to review and provide feedback. Again, suggested meeting again to discuss the ordinance and allow other interested parties to attend such fire departments, police departments, and general public. Judicial Chairman Wilder said it would be best for the entire committee to review the ordinance before the September judicial committee meeting instead of changes to any again. One said it completed the committee can set an additional meeting day for other parties to attend. The committee reviewed claims. It was moved by Curtis, second by Vince Louise, paid the claims subject to county board approval. Roll call vote stayed, motion carried. If there was no further business come before the committee, it was moved by Louise, second by Whipple. The adjourned meeting at 3:31 p.m. was carried by voice vote. All of which is respectfully submitted and signed by the president and move for discussion.
Motion on the floor to approve the official and public safety committee report. Is there a second? This is all the second. Any questions or comments on the report? Seeing none, clerk call roll, please.
Johnson. Yes. Louise.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Apple. Yes. Pursley.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Kuzma.
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Boltman.
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hathbar.
Yes. The motion is approved 16-0. Planning and Zoning Committee, Mr. Raymond.
Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee is moving to refer planning and zoning for basically to submit the following report on matters before it. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 12, 2017 at 6 p.m. Members present were Dan Raymond, Marvin Sticknock, Ernie Curtis, Chad McGinnis, and Dan Murray. Also present, Supervisor of Assessment Bob Yearwood, County Board Chairman John Kerr, County Board Members Larry Gaspard, and Vince Lee. Representatives from the Farm Bureau, Jack Focus with SGC Power, and PE industry expert Mark Wilkinson, and Wendy Davis with the County Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Marvin Sticknock and seconded to approve the agenda. There are no public comments. Committee reviewed and revised the working draft solar ordinance. It was moved by Pursley to take a 5-minute recess at 8:15 p.m. Motion carried by a roll call vote. Committee reconvened at 8:20 p.m. and continued discussion regarding the solar ordinance. It was moved by McGinnis and seconded to schedule an additional planning and zoning committee meeting on Tuesday, July 25th, 2017 at 6 p.m. to further discuss the working draft of the solar ordinance. Motion carried by a roll call vote. As there was no further business coming before the committee, it was adjourned at 9:20 p.m. All of which is respectfully submitted. Mr. Chairman and members of the county board, your committee moves to refer planning and zoning for basically to submit the following report of the matters before them. Your committee met at the Administrative Center on July 25th, 2017 at 6 p.m. Members present were Raymond, Sticknock, Curtis, McGinnis, and Pursley. Also present, County Board Chairman John Kerr, County Board Member Larry Gaspard, and John Newholt from Farm Bureau, and Wendy Davis of the County Republic. The meeting was called to order. It was moved by Pursley, seconded by Curtis, to approve the agenda, motion carried by a voice vote. There were no public comments. The committee met to review and revise the working draft of the solar ordinance. It was moved by Sticknock and seconded by Curtis to approve the draft of the solar energy ordinance as amended by the Planning and Zoning Committee, subject to County Board approval. Motion carried by a roll call vote. The ordinance will be presented to the full board for approval and then to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Once approved, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the ordinance will return to committee and then to the full board. As there was no further business coming before the committee, it was moved by Curtis, seconded by Pursley to adjourn at 8:22 p.m. Motion carried by a voice vote. All
seconded, signed by all members present, and with the adoption.
Motion on the floor to approve both reports from the planning and zoning committee. Is there a second? Further discussion? Are there any questions or comments about this? The report, set up the ordinance, presented, and sent to the zoning board of review.
Well, what I'd like to see would be to have two opposing committees formed on this ordinance. One being, with the good points, and then the other committee on the bad points, and then come together and discuss it. I mean, so far, we've only heard good points on it. And not everything has
It
good
should be
points.
perfectly clear, if we do not pass an ordinance, the moratorium expires at the county board set, for the committee set last month, and pass full board, they will be able to just plop it down wherever we give them variance to do that. So this is to regulate them as best as we can. The goal is to encourage solar development in Iroquois County, not to overly restrict it. It is not traditionally viewed as bad neighbors that wind towers are. Yeah, it's not a 400-foot tall tower, 1,000 feet off somebody's property. We want to encourage this, to open it up for Iroquois County. Well, let me start here. It's an industry that's coming to Illinois whether you want it or not. Donald Trump signed a bill that was passed, it passed a 5-year extension on renewable energy. The state of Illinois followed, and that Chad, you probably have more information on the state of Illinois if you want to take that.
The state of Illinois passed last year the Future Energy Jobs Act to attract renewable energy jobs to Illinois to grow the economy. It's a bipartisan bill. Fed is bipartisan. Solar will come, whether we like it or not. Like Dan mentioned, if we do nothing unless the moratorium expires, solar can still come to the county, but there's no guiding document as far as setbacks or whatever. They can apply for a variance because it's a utility, and then it'll be up to the ZBA and come through this process. This regulates it. As far as the farm ground, a lot of farmers are interested in this because it pays very well. Average is $1,000 an acre. The other thing, as far as our farm ground, and the show respect Barney made a good point about us being a farm community and the food source and what have you. The county, as far as I know, has no position about farmers taking ground out of production, and about a third of Iroquois County's farm ground is not in production by the choice of the farmer because they're accepting federal subsidy money to not plant. So the farmers already have said they're okay with not taking their land out of production because they do it already. And so I also, since we've been doing this, we already have 2 companies that have recently approached about wanting to bid on our own farm ground, and it's $1,000 an acre versus maybe we'll get 300 next week. Something to consider. But keep in mind, the solar ordinance is more than just about our county farm. It's also about telling the local farmers, landowners, that they want to do this with their ground, they can, without having to go, and it gives guidance on what we as a board expect.
I don't think it'll be, I don't think there's going to be a rush to plop one down where there's 80 acre fields and 40 of them all over the county are covered in fields. But at the same point, the potential is here to not only increase revenue to the county, tax revenue, but also to put Iroquois County in math. We're losing residents at a record rate. It's ridiculous. People my age are getting up and they're moving out of Iroquois County. This could potentially bring good tax jobs to Iroquois County.
So how many jobs?
John, you're going to get the first.
I have to verify this. It might have been changed in the overall zoning ordinance, but I believe that we do protect farm ground, not taking it out of production. And I believe that
we do that on the zoning board of appeals process. There is a form where we check with soil and water and the ASDF to determine what the production, historical, and a lot of times there's a history of under, hay and beans and corn and that. And in the past, historically speaking, when we put in the residential area, I can't remember the name of it, just north of town, as you go out, John Martin's out there, that was a landfill that never produced. We had the farmer here when we put in the FS plant at Gilman, who said that had previously been nursery ground and that it didn't produce, so that 80 acres. So some attention has been given to that aspect of it.
In upper Iowa, the ground is very conducive to growing good crops, and depending where you're at in the area, but I mean, it'd be factory one farm up by me that's underwater 2 years a year.
And there's some ground that should not be in crops. It just shouldn't be, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Iroquois County as a whole, this county board, traditionally over my lifetime, I'm 31, traditionally over my lifetime, this county board has spent way too much time looking into the past, and it's about time the board thinks about the future of Iroquois County and its future needs to be done.
And the ordinance is more than just farm ground. It also allows it to go into industrial areas and commercial. All the zoning districts are affected. And so the DBA process will still be in process because it's a conditional use. It's not permitted. So they still have to go through the process. And like what Donna mentioned, the farm use form, it just tells the DBA, here is the guidance. The project has to be set back so far. It meets certain requirements.
Yeah, the county board will still have the full authority to deny a project based off of any reason they see fit. It's just like when the wind towers came here, the board had the ability to decline specific projects, we still do. If you separate the neighbors or whatever the reason may be, the board can still decline the project.
When does that moratorium expire?
Next month. Within the last board meeting.
What is a moratorium anyway? What is this?
It is a temporary hold on solar development in Iroquois County until we get an ordinance in place. It was passed by the zoning committee last month and passed by the full board in July. And it is set to expire on September 12th.
It can't be extended.
Okay. I remember reading in there something about 5 of them. If someone wants to do like over in County or put a 3 panel or probably 6-foot line, is that covered under the law?
Right, for personal private use panels are not, they are not covered under the ordinance. This is for utility scale and the other one, utility
2 megawatt and smaller, or 2 megawatt and larger.
Yeah,
The community versus the big solar.
And it seems like from the interest we've seen, and I've been contacted about it, and I talked to the developers that work here, it seems like that more than likely, most developers are interested in a less than 2 megawatt facility, which, depending on technology, could be 5 acres.
In this situation, you can have a glare off is there, and this is something we can add to.
In the ordinance, there is a requirement for the road portion of the farm, that by up in this road, we have hedges that will block the way. It's
What about, there's some places where you got 5 acre lot, say that there's a glare on your neighbor or something,
that would be, that would fall under the nuisance portion of this ordinance that we placed in there. Everybody did get a copy, from the had it about a couple of weeks ago.
How do you define glare? I mean, is there a meter for it?
I don't know how you find glare.
mean, in the interest of efficiency, glare on a panel like that is actually not productive. You want to absorb the photon energy, not reflect it away.
What if a company goes bankrupt?
There is
All assets are frozen and they can't be touched, nor can the landowner.
There is a portion in the ordinance that sets aside a decommissioning fee that actually paid for the building permit will be given.
Would you explain decommissioning, please?
Decommissioning would be a, what was that, that we had, 1,000?
I'm home. Let me get it the actual.
What does decommissioning mean? What is it they do?
They take it out and remove them when they're not there.
They're not out of service, they don't always remove them.
No, it's required, the ordinance will require them if they are not in service.
Is that in there?
Yes.
I will advise people here to put aside their partisan feelings and look at it logically for the county.
Decommissioning of solar panels must occur in the event they are not in use for 12 consecutive months. The operating company and landowner have 6 months to complete the decommissioning plan, or the county will take necessary steps, and then those steps are listed.
But as I said, if there's a bankruptcy, all assets are frozen.
Did you read it? Did you read it?
Yes, I did.
You did. In there, it specifies that the money has to be put in escrow before it is given. The before building permit is allotted to the developer, meaning that the county holds these funds in a bank with their name on it, with the sole right to take the money to decommission the facility. Now, when the facility reaches its date where it would decommission itself, because it's no longer efficient or whatever the cause may be, they would get that money back if they do so correctly.
How much is that?
Nobody knows, to be totally so new. So we researched other decommissioning plans and ordinances all over the United States, and that was the number we came up with. And also within the ordinance, every 3 years, they have to be back with the board and the committee to rediscuss it, and at that time, if we feel the need to request extra money for decommissioning, they're required to do so. Donna?
I don't either recall this, the taxation, when the state eventually set up the formula for taxation, so how will this be taxed? And then I know that if the wind farm comes in and puts a new turbine on, I believe that the depreciation starts all over again, and so how did, I don't understand that.
Bob touched on that meeting, and the state is, I don't see, the state was working on it, in the chat. Yeah. You said you done some research with the state about taxation on these?
Yes, it's about, per megawatt. The average tax is about 10,000 per megawatt. And
it would be a healthy bump to local school districts that are already developing.
Or per, let me pull it up. I have it. It was a 5-acre site, which would be, a 5-acre site would amount to about 30,000 based on how the investment process that Illinois defines. So $30,000 for 5 acres. That would definitely help a school, especially if it's a struggling school out in the eastern part of our county.
The setback in the ordinance mentioned 80 feet.
80 feet from the center of the road. That is the standard across all the ordinances. We try to standardize it.
What other ordinances are you talking about?
Housing, everything.
Everything. Building. Everything starts in the center of the road, so we wanted to keep it the same as everything else as far as the starting point.
If you're building a house or whatever.
And they would have the ability to come to the board just like everybody else to request a variance on the setback for the road. And the board would have the ability to grant or decline. Just like we do it too.
I guess Mr. Ryan has left the room, so we can't hear whether he's got an opportunity to board to send this on to the zoning board of appeals, so read it. We can bring it off to the zoning board of appeals, bring it back to committee, and change it back to the zoning board of appeals, and whatever the process is. I already feel personally that the best course of action to this board is to send this back to the committee, and whoever wants to review it, and take into account everybody's comments.
I will agree with that. One of the reasons that the committee was pushing it the way we were is at the end of August, there is a ZBA meeting, and they're already scheduled, and in the state cost to the county, we were pushing to get it done so that we could make the ZBA meeting by the end of the month. And in order to do so, it would have to be cleared by the committee today. It has to be cleared by the board today. People can shake their heads and disagree all they want, but the whole purpose of pushing it was to save the county money, and I wish, quite honestly, that more communities would do that.
How hard is it to amend and add things done?
If it's a major amendment, you know, it was agreed, it would have to come back to the committee and then go back. But anything as far as minor language changes, grammatical errors, major changes would have would go through ZBA, and if they recommend major changes, then it would have to come all the way back and start all over.
So if we approve this today, and those changes that John wants are brought up to the DEA, they approve this, and then recommend the amendments, then we can approve those at the next meeting and everything?
I think I think it would have to come all the way back to committee, and then go back to the DEA. Jim would be able to specify that, but I think if it's a major change, it would almost be like starting all over. I believe, but I don't know for a fact. Jim would be, or Bob would be the one to ask about that.
And at some point, doesn't there have to be a public hearing?
Yeah, that would be the DEA. The committee's done a lot of research, had a lot of discussion. Our first meeting ran for 3.5 hours.
Well, we've started this process in March.
Yeah, this has been going on for a while.
And then the chairman did offer comments. He was part of the meeting, and he put his comments out to us, and we edited or advised based on what the committee. So I would challenge, some of the major issues that you have, because you did have a say. The county board will vote on this again once it comes through ZBA. It's something that we need to create. Changes, once it's made, changes to amend it via ordinance, it's easier because we have something in place. And because we include all the zoning issues, so it'll be easy to make amendments. Because it's in place.
This may not be 100% right, but it sure is a lot better than nothing. And it's hard to start with a brand new ordinance, know everything that you have to put in there, because every county has never dealt with a utility size or even a community size solar farm. So this is all new to everybody. Done?
Well, I take a little bit different view on it, because this is exactly the process we followed with wind farms. There was a great deal of objection. Part of that objection was they were subsidized by the government, which is exactly because we have the act in place. So that's something we're going to live with. But we did exactly the same thing when I was on the zoning committee with Dale Schultz and Jim Meyer, and you can go back and look. I can't remember everyone. We looked at ordinances from Michigan, and I can't remember, Iowa and Texas and all over. You have to start somewhere. So it's never going to be perfect. This is the process. And in the meantime, whether we like it or not, and we can't treat it as a dirty word, it's a revenue source to this county, and we have an obligation to the citizens of this county to open ourselves up to additional revenues, jobs, and commerce in this county.
And I would advise everybody who has an objection to the subsidization of renewable energy to open up an internet page and please Google the subsidies that the oil industry and the coal industry get. It's no different. No different than agriculture.
Agriculture already subsidized, our gallon of milk,
know
if
it
the Farm Bill wasn't passed, our gallon of milk would be $8 a gallon. But thanks to the federal subsidization, our gallon of milk is closer to $2.
Thank you. I'd like to respond to some of your comments. I'm not against having solar farms in this county. I'm not against any of that. I want to commend this committee for doing a good job. I do think it's important that we put our best foot forward, however, and I think there are a number of things here right now that should be corrected before we do that.
You know, a list would have been, a list of corrections would have been nice. A list of corrections would be nice, and we're not giving it.
He had the floor.
You're disrespectful.
Now I do, you're interrupting me.
Oh, you interrupted.
Oh, you're disrespectful.
Go ahead.
Very disappointed.
Given this committee, how corrections would have been good.
Go ahead, the chairman did give us a list, and we did go through it.
We went through it, but the correction as far as after that would have been nice. I was never really contacted about other corrections after we passed this out of committee.
I had time to do this when I got it.
Okay, we're digressing here, let's get back to this.
Who's been running of this committee?
Are there any further comments or questions about the report, Mr. Hall?
Yes, I think we should be ready before we go to the GPA, even if it is delayed to another meeting of the GPA. Simple as that. It's going to be harder after the GPA come back with corrections, because then you'll wind up going back to GPA again. If it's anything at all.
DDA?
Whatever you know. I have too many abbreviations in this world anymore.
Go ahead.
You know, I've been told time and time again that anything can be changed when it comes out of committee or any resolution or any ordinance. All we have to do is go back. My whole stance on this, which I've said before to you, Mr. Chairman, do your homework before you come to the board meeting. We got this stuff. It should have been reviewed. If there was issues, it should have come out before now. This is not new stuff. It was sent out. Do your homework. Do your due diligence to the people that you represent. I'm ready for this vote.
Really quickly, Jim, you have an opportunity to review it. I got a phone call. Fortunately, I've missed all the discussion. The problem is, when you sneak back in, I think we need to have another ordinance to sneak in and come in and discuss it, because it seems like when you walk back in, you jump a lot. Did you have an opportunity to review the solar ordinance? I apologize, I have.
He doesn't, we don't either.
I think you had extenuating circumstances.
Well, not only that, I mean,
I did. You don't know.
You don't know either, sir.
What's my prayer?
Only you can.
So I haven't had a chance to sit down and read this. So for that, I apologize. Okay.
Down the road.
As far as amending it down the road, the process for that, if the DDA recommends a major amendment to it, the process for that would be to basically start all over, correct? If the amendments recommended are material, which is kind of a sliding slope or a squishy subject, how do you define a material change as recommended by the DDA? And I guess we would have to cross that bridge if they make those suggestions. So if they substantiate, whatever changes they recommend are minor, such as a wording or phrase or maybe adding something that's not significant, then I think full county board can weigh in on it and have it as change. If it's a material change that they're recommending, whatever that is, and however that is decided, then it would have to be reconsidered by zoning board, or zoning committee, full county board, and go back to the CPA. That's the burden of your office. It's designed to be slow so that democracy can do its job. But that's how it works.
What if it's passed?
Jack, go ahead.
What if it is passed, it goes through the whole process as it is, let's say a couple months from now, someone on the county board would like to amend it? Does it require ZBA or is it based on material versus
Yeah,
minor?
you do that material analysis. If you amend the material, then you go back to the ZBA
But that wouldn't necessarily nullify the whole thing.
I mean, once you pass it, now you've adopted a solar ordinance. And if you want to make changes to it, then it's still a living document that was operating, and it does change until it makes it.
I was, at the beginning, I was 110% against this, simply because it's subsidized by taxpayers' money. However, it's coming, whether we want it or not, at the county board, and we need an ordinance that fits the purpose of this new venture. This ordinance looks pretty darn good to me, but I'm not a scientist on solar science. But we got to have something where either it's coming here, and we're not going to like what the solar people's going to do if we don't have an ordinance. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's the way I feel.
The only other option would be pass the continuing moratorium on it, and then everybody else around us would be getting revenue benefit from it, and we wouldn't.
So, it's coming.
With the budget that's so tight every year, and a little bit extra revenue.
Absolutely. And Iroquois County has shunned away more business in my lifetime than most states get. There's no business in Iroquois County anymore, except farmers. So we need it.
Barbara, was that?
That's going to be gone too, the farmers, you put all of them in. And I have a question.
That's just something today, I don't know if I get paid whatsoever.
With the wind farms, we were supposed to have all kinds of jobs, where are they? And you're saying it's about solar?
We beat this push pretty hard. Why don't we vote?
Oh, I'm saying against it.
Any further discussion?
I guess not.
There's a motion on the floor. It is, did we get a second? Yeah, go ahead.
Louise,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Apple,
No.
Hursley,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Stewart, Signot,
No.
Hall,
No.
Anderson,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Crowe,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Hathbarger,
Yes.
Johnson. Yes. Full board, and motion passes.
We do have to add another thing, that's all you have to do. Great, Mr. Chairman, members of the county, to refer transportation highway, to the regulation of volume and for the committee back to the Cook County Highway Building on August 4, 2017 at 9 a.m. Members present was Bill, Paul, Ashburn, Johnson, Jackson, Kevin Bolton, John Cole, Ward Pastor, all the present, County Engineer, County Board Students, Officer, and the mediators of the county department. The meeting was called to order. There was no public comment. The placement of the report for the order review. It was moved by Charles Baldwin, that Al Shannon, debated the subject of the county board of approval. Roll call vote taken. That motion carries. County highway was $82,778. County road was $89,480. County motor fuel tax, $138,141. And township motor fuel tax is $535,205. County Engineer Bill Moore presented a resolution for replacement of the culvert for North Road. The 20 the cost of will be shared between the county and township, and the township to pay for the installation. But in this instance, the pay to repay half the entire bill, and will pay the entire amount of the next culvert replacement. However, Moore said the original resolution was created was only for $5,000, and didn't include the installation cost of $3,000. And additional resolution has been created for the $3,000 for the installation cost. There is a new law in Ashburn and Staff Marshal Johnson to approve the resolution for improvement in the amount of $3,000 for the next road. Motion carried by roll call vote. More gave update on the HFID grant. Moore said engineering did a large development report for us and put that. And part of that was put into the highway safety improvement program, which is called HFID. Moore received notification that our project had an inspection for the local HFID grant with funding not to exceed $1 million. We will match 20%. More obligated update on the GIS system. Training was provided for this app. A new line item in the budget for GIS has been added. For transfer $20,000 to the GIS fund for this year, $10,000 for the next 3 years. So $7,000 at the highway department going forward. As there is no further business to be coming before the committee, it is moved by all experts to adjourn at 9:30 a.m. The motion carried, signed by all members present, and I would move to the adoption of this report.
Motion on the floor, the transportation highway committee report is second. Mr. Hathaway, second. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Apple,
Yes.
Hursley,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bidenow,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Barron, Bill,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Crowe, Curtis, Atwater,
Yes.
Johnson, Lee.
Motion approved, 16-0. Mr. Blaine, everyone has a copy of the claim from them. The motion to approve the claim. Mr. Barron, for a second. Any questions about the claim? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Apple,
Yes.
Hursley,
Yes.
Raymond, Stewart,
Yes.
Bidenow,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Anderson, Barron, Bill,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Crowe, Curtis,
Yes.
Atwater,
Yes.
Johnson, Lee, McGinnis.
Yes.
Motion approved, 16-0. Next is appointment. For the appointment of one of you. Motion approved, the appointment of the manager, for a second. All done. Any questions or comments on this? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All ready. Any open?
I'm not really sure, as any more person here with what exactly the procedure is on letting people know about resignations from committees or some meetings, but I had thought it was a little before
done because large portion of this committee, or this board, was upset because there were more than one county board than there are, so I felt that I should resign to resolve that problem.
And I appreciate that, but there was more resignations after you as well, which alignment of the radio, I didn't know either. So, that's kind of a shock.
Any other questions today?
I did read somewhere, the email was sent to the health department that requested rent from them, and the board of health declined. I'd like to have that put on the agenda for the management committee to discuss rent with them. And I'd like to have the person on the original agreement of no rent maybe be contacted and ask them what the intent was of that. But my intent may have been short term, because they're not in or not.
What is the email sent about that?
I see it somewhere. I see it somewhere.
I don't know.
I'd like to put on the agenda the management committee to discuss rent for them.
Rent for who?
Management committee, and you deal with the rent.
For who? Well,
For the health department.
health department.
The management committee chairman.
Okay.
There any other business today? None, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Russell, second by Mr. Hall, all in favor, aye?